You can begin with your knees bent. Take the feet a little bit wider than hip width distance apart, and then soften the knees in towards each other. Close down the eyes. Take just a moment to arrive and to remind yourselves. I really like to do this myself for my personal practice. To remind yourselves that for the next 45 minutes, there is nowhere else that you need to be, that you have cleared out your schedule, hopefully, specifically and exclusively for the practice of yoga. So anything that needs to be done, anything that needs to be worried about or ruminated on, you can set that aside, and if you want, pick it up at the end of the class. Let's begin to take some deeper breaths. Don't worry about any of the instructions that you learned the last week for those of you who are there. For now, just a couple of natural deep breaths. In and out through the nose. Count the length of your inhale. And do the same for your breath out. Your deepest breath in, count the length. Your fullest exhale, again, count the length. As you breathe in and out, but especially as you breathe in, notice if either the belly rises or the chest rises. It can sometimes help to notice if you bring one hand on the belly, one hand on the chest, and then notice if one hand or the other is lifting. The natural way of breathing is as a baby would do. Imagine just a baby sleeping in a crib, and as they breathe in, the belly rises. Chest is soft and still. But somewhere along the way in our lives, we've learned to suck in the belly when we breathe in, to puff out the chest, those cultural messages that we've received. Try to set some of those aside because they create tension and tightness in the neck and the jaw and the shoulders. If your hand is on your upper chest, see that it's absolutely still until the very top of your inhale. So breathe in your deepest breath, pull the breath all the way down into the lower belly. And if another hand is on the belly, as you exhale, let the weight of your hand guide the navel towards the spine. And do that again. Pull the breath all the way down towards your lower belly as you inhale. Exhaling, let the weight of the hand guide your navel towards the floor. Take both hands to the rib cage. So now a review of that three-part breath. Inhale, pull the breath downwards into the lower belly. Feel the rib cage expand outwards into your hands. Soften the ribs in, navel to the spine. So part one is belly expanding on inhale. Part two is rib cage outwards to the sides. Soften the ribs inwards like an accordion. Navel to the spine like a balloon that's deflating. And we'll add the third part, breathing in. Belly expands, rib cage widens, and at the very top of that inhale, the collarbones widen. The reverse as you breathe out, collarbones drawing inwards, rib cage softens inwards, navel to the spine. 2 more times, you can follow your own rhythm and your own instructions. And if you want to bring the hands to rest somewhere else, you could do that. Now we'll do this little experiment to prove to you just how important deep breathing is. If you walk your legs forward, take the arms alongside of the body. So you're in a position similar to that final relaxation at the end of class, known as Shavasana. Bring your mind to rest on that deep breath that you've learned. Lower belly, side ribs, collarbones. Feel the weight of your body as you breathe out. Another 2 deep breaths, inhaling. Exhale as you feel heavy. One more. Before we move to that mini experiment, scan your mind and body, get a general sense for how you feel. Now, if I invite you to get really angry, create a sense of anger, then what would you do? How would you do that? Then let it go. So without being able to interact with you or see you personally, most common is that you'll tense the body, you'll hold the breath, you'll scrunch up the face, you might make fists with your hands, everything in the body becomes tight and you begin to feel angry. It's a fascinating thing because it provides you with the basic fact that you didn't think about something that made you angry. It was an expression that was created in the body and holding the breath. So the reverse can be true. If you return to that extremely relaxed position and without changing anything in the body, without holding the breath, without tightening, staying absolutely relaxed, try to get upset. Try to get upset while breathing deeply and softening the body. It's physiologically near impossible. So by using the breath, by using the body, we can access that portal to inner peace and contentment, no matter what's happening on the external world. So we'll bring together breath and stretching. You can keep your left leg out nice and long, draw the right knee into the chest, interlace your hands around the shin or in behind, whichever you can more readily grasp onto without shrugging the shoulders. So we'll start to train the back muscles to keep the shoulders drawing down away from the ears. Stay nice and long through the sides of the neck. Stay soft through the front of the throat. Then as you inhale, press the leg forward into your hands. Exhale, squeeze the thigh towards your torso. Synchronizing breath and movement. Inhale, it's almost as though the belly presses your thigh forward because you're expanding the belly on inhale. And exhale, the thigh draws the navel towards the spine. Inhale forward. Exhale in. And one more time, breathe in. And exhale. Extend your right leg to the sky. Pull the toes towards your nose, press your heel towards the ceiling. And if you're not feeling a stretch in the calf muscle and or hamstrings, slide the hands as far down the leg as you need to feel that stretch. Inhale and create length and space. And as you exhale, draw the leg in a little bit closer. If your hamstrings are really tight, maybe you run like Eryn or cycle. You could always bend the left knee. Don't pull too hard. You don't want to stretch too much, too fast, or the body will put on what's called reciprocal inhibition. It's kind of like the emergency brake of your body. It'll engage muscles to protect the joints from moving too deeply into that stretch. Then engaging them makes it very difficult to stretch them at the same time. Now rebend the knee, interlace the hands around the leg again, draw the thigh a touch closer to the chest, but start to angle the knee more towards your right shoulder. Point your left toes. Stretch through that whole front side of the left leg. And we'll come into a spinal twist. Reach your right arm out to the side and use your left hand to guide the knee over to the left. I like to hook my toes in behind that left leg. It kind of provides a feeling of anchoring or grounding. Turn your right palm to face the ceiling and just bring the arm a little bit closer to your head, maybe until you find a stretch through the front of the shoulder, the front of the chest. And rock back to center. With the right knee drawn in, bend your left knee, cross the right ankle over the left thigh, use your right hand, press the knee forward. It's option one. You can stay right here. If you're feeling a stretch in your right hip, you don't have to go any further. Option two, picking your left foot up. And here there's two options still. Your left hand can hold on to the foot with your right hand guiding the knee forward. Then draw the left leg in until you feel that stretch in through the right hip. Option one. Option two with the hands is simply to interlace them in behind the left leg. So as you inhale, create space. And as you exhale, draw the left thigh in a little bit closer. So you create space as you breathe in to deepen the stretch as you exhale. Keep the shoulders soft, sides of the neck long, and the breath deep. With your ankles still crossed over the thigh, take your left foot to the floor. Drop both legs out over to the left, so you can have the right knee pointing up towards the sky. Stretch the right arm overhead in a half diamond shape. And as you inhale, breathe your back ribs towards the mat. As you exhale, soften the front ribs down. Inhaling, breathe your back ribs towards the mat. Exhale and soften the front ribs down. At the same time, keep guiding the right knee forward. So lots happening in this pose. You've got a stretch for the right shoulder, stretch of the right hip, a very gentle spinal twist, and then training a deepening breath. Lower the arm back down, swing your legs back up through center, uncross your right leg, straighten it out, and take the left knee in. Interlace around the shin or in behind the thigh. Point your right toes, lengthen along the right leg. And as you inhale, press the knee forward. Exhale, hug the thigh in. Inhale, press the knee forward. And exhale, draw the leg in. Couple more times, belly expands, breathe in. Thigh to the chest, navel to the spine. 2 more, inhale. Exhale. And last one. Now extend your legs, sole of the foot to the sky, looking for a hamstring stretch. Slide the hands as far down the leg as you need to feel that stretch. And if it's too intense, if the leg is just shaking, for example, you can bend the right knee. Inhale, create space, press the sole of the foot towards the sky. Exhale, draw the thigh in towards you. So here you can recall how important it is to keep soft expression on the face. Nice deep breathing, because it tells the nervous system that you are in a safe place. If you get all tense when you're stretching the hamstrings, the rest of the body gets tense. We're looking to breathe deeply, even through that heightened sensation. You can rebend the knee, take the leg back and towards the torso, move the knee a little bit closer towards your left shoulder. You'll feel that deeper flexion. Point the toes, lengthen through the side body, soften the shoulders. Stretch your left arm out to the side. Use your right hand to guide the knee over to the right. I like to hook my toes in behind the leg. You don't have to do that, but it's pretty grounding that way. Left hand faces the sky. And you can start to draw that left arm just a little bit closer to your head. With the elbows soft, maybe you find a stretch through the front of the chest and through the shoulder. So you're inhaling, creating space. You can visualize the rib cage like an accordion. As you exhale, just notice the weight of your right hand. And rock back to center. Bend the right knee, walk the heel in towards your hip, cross the left ankle over the right thigh. And here you have those options. Left hand can be on the knee, guiding the knee forward. Or you pick the right foot up, hold on to the foot with your right hand. Keep guiding the knee forward. So you're looking for that stretch through the left hip. It's a problem area for a lot of people. And if these muscles are tight, then it can cause low back tightness or weakness through the lower back. So it's good. This is a great stretch to practice regularly. Or you've got the hands interlaced in behind the thigh, still squeezing the left knee forward. Send the tailbone forward and breathe length into your spine as you inhale. Draw the thigh towards your chest as you breathe out. And with the ankles still crossed over the thigh, take your right foot to the floor. Drop both legs out over to the right. So your left knee is pointing up towards the ceiling. Stretch your left arm overhead in a half diamond shape. And as you take your awareness to your breath, breathe your back ribs towards the floor. Send the left knee forward towards the wall, sort of in front of you. And keep breathing your back ribs towards the mat. Soften the muscles of the face. Relax the jaw. And rock the legs back through center. Uncross your left leg, straighten it out. Walk your right foot forward. Reach the arms up overhead. Find that beautiful lengthening stretch through the side body. Hinge to your right. Pick your head up, move it just an inch to the right. Lift your gaze back up towards the ceiling. Point your left toes. And either stay here or cross your left leg on top of the right one. Squeeze your inner thighs towards each other. Breathe into your left rib cage. Come on back through center. Uncross the ankles. Hinge over to your left side with the left hand holding the right wrist. Pick the head up, move it an inch to the left. Lift your gaze back up towards the ceiling. Breathe into that right side body. Point your right toes. And either stay here or cross the right ankle on top of the left one. Then back through center. Lower your arms down, uncross the ankles, hug the legs into the chest. Wrap your arms around your legs. Give yourself a little rock from side to side. Massage your lower back. Then reach your right arm up overhead. Rock onto your right side, fetal leg position. Push into your left hand. Lift yourself up. Face forward, hands and knees. We'll move through a couple of rounds of cat-cow. Toes are turned under. As you inhale, arch the back. Pause here for an extra breath. You're stretching out the abdominal muscles. Attempt to drag the hands gently towards you to accentuate that stretch. Soften the shoulder blades down the back. If you get cramping in your feet, you could be on the top of the feet. Both are great. This is your inhale. Exhale as you round your spine. Look towards the belly. Release the crown of the head towards the floor. Push into the hands. So send your hands forward towards the top of the mat. Take an inhale, draw the gaze forward, attempt to drag the hands towards you, soften the shoulders away from the ears, and lift the chin a little bit higher, stretch the front of the throat. Round your spine, send your tailbone towards the floor, chin towards the chest. Press the mat forward with the hands. Press the space between your shoulder blades towards the sky. And now move with the breath, your own pace. Inhale as you arch, exhale as you round, but just flow with your own rhythm. Last one. Find a flat back position. We'll stretch out the wrist. This can be intense, so take it nice and easy. You're turning your right hand as far to the right as you can. Rotate it like you're opening a jar, fingertips towards the knees. Do the same with the left hand. Rotate all the way left, fingertips in the direction of your knees. As if this weren't enough, but maybe for you, you're not feeling too much. Send the toes under and start to slide your hips back towards your heels. Just slowly, slowly until you find that stretch in through the wrists and the forearms. This is a great preventative stretch for carpal tunnel syndrome, as intense as it can be. And very slowly and with control, keep shifting the hips back until the palms of the hands lift up. Again, slow motion. Palms of the hands lift up and you get a nice stretch in through the fingers. All of these muscles, even palms of the hands and fingers, start to tighten up as we get older. Take the weight forward again. Turn the hands over so fingers point towards the center of the mat, the whole top of the hand. Gently guide it downwards towards the floor for a counter stretch. Turn the hands back over again. Come all the way into a child's pose. If sitting back onto the heels is not comfortable for you, you can shift forward onto the forearms, interlace the fingers, let the head hang. If you can make it back into a child's pose with forehead all the way down or almost on the mat, take the arms alongside of your body. Make gentle fists with your hands, curl your fists in towards your forearms, press the tops of the hands into the floor. Then relax the hands, relax the shoulders, broaden across the upper back. Feel your shoulder blades move away from the spine. Take a deep breath into the lower back. And as you exhale, surrender to the pull of gravity. Deep breath into the lower back and the lower belly. Exhale and feel heavier. Last time, inhale, low back, your deepest breath in. And exhale to sink. Walk the hands in under the shoulders. Turn your toes under. Come to the back of the mat, fold over your legs with the knees deeply bent. Just allow the spine to flow forward over the legs. Release the crown of the head towards the earth. And either keep the hands on the legs or opposite hand to elbow. Pull the elbow points towards the floor. Lengthen through the side body. You can nod the head yes and no a couple of times. Release any tension in the neck and the jaw. And start to rock forward and back. A very small rocking so that you're not losing your balance, but rather just giving the feet a little bit of a massage. Come to center and change the clasping of your arms so that the other hand is on the bottom. And shift from side to side. And come back to neutral again. Release the arms and start to stack one vertebra on top of the next. Press into your feet. Come all the way up to standing. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Interlace your hands behind you. Reach the knuckles of the hands towards the floor and soften the chin towards the chest. Try not to be in a back bend here. So squeeze your front ribs back. Draw the hips forward. Tuck both hands in towards your left hip. Squeeze the elbows towards each other and draw the left ear to the shoulder. And come back to center, release the hands down, chin to the chest. Lift your arms up off your back any amount that you can. Lower the arms back down and tuck them in towards your right hip. Squeeze the elbows towards each other. Draw the right ear towards the shoulder. And come back up to center. So we'll practice one more standing posture before coming back down. This is Vrikshasana or tree pose. You can start with your right foot grounded. Draw the left foot anywhere along the right leg. Take the palms of the hands to meet. You could even have the left big toe grazing the mat for balance if you feel a bit unsteady today. Or if you're feeling confident, take the foot all the way up towards the inner thigh. Now, a few things. Focus the mind like a good balancing pose. Any balancing posture, really, because all of that mental effort is drawn in towards steadying the body. Spread the weight evenly across the standing foot. Squeeze your left knee back. Feel that hip opening. Lift the heart center up. Create a feeling of pride. Soften the muscles of the face. Focus your gaze with an inhale. Stretch the arms up overhead. And release the arms down. Change sides. Take the weight into your left foot. Bring the right foot anywhere along the leg. The idea being, again, to focus and steady the mind, so it doesn't matter where the foot goes, as long as you're feeling relatively challenged. Some days are a bit windier in the forest than the others. Certainly one side is often more difficult than the other. But one of the secrets to being steady is to focus the mind on some precise point. Or focus the gaze. That's how you physically access the mind. Focus the gaze on some tiny little point. Jedi vision. Inhale and reach the arms overhead. Keep your gaze on that single point. And exhale to release. Lower the foot down. Come to the top of the mat. Stretch your arms up overhead. Breathe in, fill the lungs. Take your hands down through the heart center. Soften the knees as you fold forward over the legs. Interlace your hands behind you again. Lift the arms up off the back any amount. Shift them gently from side to side, any amount. If the hamstrings and the spine are receptive, maybe you straighten out the legs. Take your gaze between your knees, not down at the floor, to feel that real lengthening through the neck, front of the throat, sides of the neck, And lower the hands down. Step back, maybe downward facing dog as a transition to just take your knees to the floor. Swing the legs to the side. With your knees bent, top of the mat, arms alongside of the body, curl your way down one vertebra at a time as you send the tailbone forward towards the heels. Hug the legs in, give yourself a little squeeze, a little rock from side to side. Take your feet to the floor, separate your feet hip width distance. Arms are down alongside of the body, just a couple of flowing baby bridges. Push into your feet gently, lift the hips up. There's no pinching in the lower back. So squeeze your glutes a touch and curl back down. Inhale, lift the hips up, reach the arms up. And exhale, curl down. Try to synchronize arms and hips, lowering at the same time. Push into your feet, lift the arms up. Inhale. Exhale, lower the hips and arms down. Press into your feet. Inhale. And exhale. Last time here. Inhale. Hips lift. Arms lift. And exhale to lower. Walk your feet forward. Separate your feet nice and wide apart, at the very least hip width distance, but maybe mat width distance apart. Rotate your palms to face up and take the arms fairly wide also. You might even get a bit of a stretch through the front of the chest, widening the collarbones, fronts of the shoulders. Then lift the head up and draw the skin of the scalp towards your shoulder blades. Soften the chin down towards the chest. It's important that you're able to do that the chin is not lifting up towards the ceiling, because that's really stimulating for the mind. If you can't quite access that, then just slide something under the head. Although your eyes are closed, take your gaze towards your heart center, and then allow the eyes to sink deep into their sockets. Unhinge the jaw. Unclench the teeth. Bring the tongue to rest in behind the lower teeth. Soften all of the muscles that you might use to concentrate. Smoothen out the skin across the forehead. Unfurrow the eyebrows. Soften the inner ears. Relax the belly. Relax the low back. Allow the backs of the shoulders to release towards the earth. Soften the front ribs. Allow the hips and pelvis to sink. Backs of the thighs to feel heavy. From the tips of the toes to the very crown of the head, surrender to gravity. At the same time, feel the earth rising up to support the weight of the body. Mentally repeat, as though you mean it, even if you don't. Mentally repeat, right here, right now, without changing a single thing. I am at peace. I am content. I am perfect in every way. Notice your breath and start to breathe more deeply. Awaken the body, wiggle the fingers and toes. Rotate the wrists and ankles. Inhale through the nose. Extend the arms overhead. Lengthen the spine, point the toes. And through the mouth, exhale. Bring the knees to the chest. Rock and roll forward and back and side to side. Find your way to a seated, cross-legged position with the eyes closed and the hands together at the heart center. And closing the practice with a feeling of gratitude. I invite you to call to mind just 2 or 3 things that you feel you have to be grateful for today. Something simple, maybe you're grateful that it's Friday or that you have fresh coffee in the morning. Anything that brings a smile to your face. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for letting me lead your practice. Namaste.